If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Should the Bucs be the favorites in the NFC if Brady does play a full season for him?
Who has a better chance to go to the Super Bowl? They are on comparably strong teams. Brady going to take less. Rodgers going to take more. Packers or Bucs? Better chance to go to the Super Bowl.
I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The reason I believe that is we've seen Aaron Rodgers recently. We saw the 49ers go into the number 1 seed last football season, upset that one, and move on to the NFC Championship game. But much like Mike is saying, you can sign players if you have a little bit more money. There's no question about that. On top of that, geographically, where would you rather be? Would you rather be freezing cold or nice weather in Tampa Bay? One of Mike's things, no tax state, great stadium, great place to live, great weather, everything, and you playing with the greatest quarterback of all times. I, for my money, would rather be in Tampa Bay.
Here he is on 3rd and 3 from the pocket. Connecting. That's Perriman taking it all the way for the win.
I'm going to say yes. All right. We talked, I think, last week about how wide open. Yeah. Look, and the Bucs, we know they were 13-4 last year. All right. Had a great season. That division, what we talked about last week, Brady made a living off a weak division in the AFC. Now, obviously, that wasn't the case when he came to the NFC with Tampa Bay. You had New Orleans. But next year, it looks like right now, that division is going to be weak. Now, they have a tough schedule outside of the division, but he should be able to feast on the NFC South if he indeed stays in Tampa Bay. So there's that. I think, look, the Rams are going to be tough, but what's going to happen with Von Miller? He's dropping hints that he wants to go to Denver. What's going to happen with OBJ? Plus, just getting back to a Super Bowl is tough to do. We've seen teams do it lately, but it still is a tough task. Arizona's got some issues going on with Kyler Murray. San Francisco is likely going to start a kid, Trey Lance, at quarterback. Nick, I know you love him, and he might have great potential, but he's got hardly any experience playing big-time football. Not just big-time NFL football, big-time college football as well. And then Dallas has all their issues. So Green Bay, who am I trusting more? You know the answer to this. In a big game, an NFC Championship game, for instance, I am trusting Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Look, as I said it last segment, they can sit back and say, we lost 30-27 to the Rams. We beat them if we've got anybody other than Mike Evans, if Chris Godwin is healthy, if Antonio Brown doesn't go haywire the week before. We beat them, and we have a good chance of getting back to the Super Bowl. So I think with the motivation, you saw they signed, you said it, Ryan Jensen, the center. Why are they bringing him back? I think they're bringing him back because they're bringing Tom Brady. They're keeping Tom Brady.
I would have loved to have had a home game on Matt Ryan when he heard the news that Brady's coming back. Matt Ryan threw the tablet, he threw the beer, he threw the whiskey.
On a very busy morning in the world of football, and it begins with the enormous news, and that, of course, is this. Tom Brady is back. His retirement lasted 40 days. Brady saying yesterday he's returning to the Buccaneers for his 23rd season in the NFL. The 7-time Super Bowl champion announcing the decision on Twitter and Instagram, saying he has unfinished business.
If all of a sudden I'm Jarvis Landry and there is no Antonio Brown, there's Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Scotty Miller, which is the fourth guy, and I'm Landry, do I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers via trade or free agency and say, I'll come play for you because I have a chance to really be good in a division with Tom Brady, in a conference with Tom Brady, who certainly continues to get the receivers off that he plays with? Do I take less money?
1,000%. I'm not taking less money, Key. I'm investing in my future because Tom Brady on his worst day is better than Baker Mayfield on his best day. So I'm going to go down there. I'm going to resurrect my career, much the way OBJ left Cleveland, goes out to L.A., and unfortunately gets hurt. But if didn't, he ran the same play, Key. So I think that's a great idea. And I think Jarvis Landry is just going to be one of many guys that's going to say, hey, let me go down there. I got a chance to win a ring. I'll sign a one-year deal, and then I'll take my chances next year.
Why can't that be the same with Green Bay?
because it's
geographically
cold.
too.
Yeah.
Just because it's cold.
It's cold, and
you
there's
pay taxes.
He's been playing in the cold in Cleveland. He's been doing it.
but I also played in the warm in Miami,
and he didn't have a choice with Cleveland.
Brady was very clear and very specific. He is back in Tampa. I know there was some conversation about whether or not Tom Brady would end up with another team or whether he was using this to kind of leverage his way out. No, he is back in Tampa. And I texted with Bruce Arians last night just to gauge his reaction to the greatest quarterback who's ever lived, coming back for a 23rd season to play at 45, just like Brady always hoped. NBA summed it up pretty well. He said, total excitement. So that is where he stands. That is where the organization stands. And you guys know, I mean, Jason Light, the general manager, was talking to Schrager a couple weeks ago and said the great line, we will leave the light on for him. And they did. They did not make an offer on Deshaun Watson. They did not make an offer on Russell Wilson. They looked into other potential veteran quarterbacks, but the veteran quarterback they wanted was always the veteran quarterback they had. Now Tom Brady officially back. And by the way, Ryan Jensen, his center, got a 3-year, $39 million deal to be back as well.
Here they come after Brady throws, caught, Gronkowski to the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
The timing of the decision, the fact that he does it this Sunday and not next Sunday is significant because...
Well, because in 4 hours, teams can start having conversations with the agents for free agent players. So Ryan Jensen could have had a conversation with the Jets or the Bengals or the Ravens or any of these teams that were looking to pursue him. And now he's going to be on the Buccaneers, and we'll see what else happens. They have other free agents they want to sign, and obviously Brady coming back will help with that.
Thank God Tom Brady is back and entering the NFC. This was a problem. We needed the competition committee to get involved in how stacked the AFC was.
There is another option, though. Get another credit card. Oh, Tom Brady's like, hey, Malcolm Glazer, you want me to come back? Get another card. Open up a Discover if those still exist. Get another credit card and go all in. And I think Brady's like, you know what? I'll come back if you're willing to torpedo the cap and go all in. Because don't forget, the Bucs were a Super Bowl team, but they were the first Super Bowl champion ever, Broussard, to have every touchdown scored by a guy who wasn't on the team the previous year. Gronk scored 2, AB scored 1, Fournette scored 1. So the team that we have right now in Tampa Bay, if I'm Tom Brady, can't be the team that I start with and can't be the team that I've got week 10. Who do they want to go grab? Is it going to be Saquon? Want to make a move for Saquon? You want to make a move for Allen Robinson? I think Gronk has got to come back. I think that's got to be part of the deal. How about OBJ? Hopefully he recovers and maybe he can pop in. Nice little Week 12 OBJ appearance. So I think that the Bucs could be favored in the NFC if the magnetism of Tom Brady's superstarness and the willingness to torpedo your cap down the road is what would make them a contender and could drive them to the Super Bowl. Otherwise, I don't think Tom Brady would come back.
Tom Brady to the end zone.
Guys will be willing to come and play there for maybe less because Tom Brady's there.
And it said on the screen a moment ago, he will be 45 years old
ageless
in August. He's ageless?
Yeah, he's not 45. 45 is a number that Tom Brady, obviously, he doesn't subscribe to those numbers. He counts by Super Bowls. He's 7 Super Bowls old. He wants to get to 10.
Rodgers and his Packers, let's go. Let's prove the world that we could actually do this thing despite coming up short. And then it was Stafford and his Rams saying, we're bringing it all back together. And now you have this third element. I think about Rodgers this morning because, Rodgers comes back and we do this, these flips and it's a week of Rodgers talk and now Rodgers. And then we wake up this morning and Adams isn't thrilled. Tunyon's a free agent. Marquez Valdes-Scantling is a free agent. What are the Packers next year? And if it was a cakewalk to the NFC Championship game or wherever you want to say it was, it gets a lot hairier with Brady in the picture because Brady has beaten Rodgers in so many games.
It is fully reasonable and I think accurate to say that Tom Brady's willingness, ability to, or however you want to describe it, take a lot less money than his position would normally dictate has contributed to him having 7 championships.
That's fine.
Mike, is part of your argument that you're more likely to win with Brady if you're, say, Jarvis Landry, because since Brady will take less money than Aaron Rodgers will ostensibly take this, coming up, as Jarvis Landry, you also have more good players around you in Tampa.
Yeah, and Tom Brady's made a lot of players a lot of money for a long time because of that. They're going to have a chance to win. And look, Green Bay's not going anywhere because once they have Aaron Rodgers. But my point is, Green Bay's roster is going to look a lot different by the end of the week. They're going to bring back some of those players, not all of them. And that's why, like, to me, if I'm Jarvis Landry and I had to sign a one-year deal, again, I'm not saying it has to be Tampa. Like I said, OBJ just did a great job. But I would take my chances in Tampa because I have a better chance to win than in Green Bay. Plus, with no state income tax, it's a better place. It's just...
And the warm weather.
This is a gift to the entire NFL. And to now get to have Brady another round of him playing up against the best, not just in the NFC, but in the AFC as well. We're going to get a preview, possibly, of another Super Bowl matchup. Shregs, I know you like to do a prediction before every season starts. I mean, I think this puts the Bucs back on the map in August for you, and it's going to be tough for you to not want to send out Brady back in the big dance. I know it still burns him that they lost to the Rams.
I think it's a 3-horse race now in the NFC as opposed to a 2-horse race, and Brady might be the lead dog based on what we see what LA can bring back and what Green Bay brings back.
The AFC playoffs, when you win that next year, you should get a Super Bowl ring just for winning the AFC title. It is going to be that good. Anybody you pick. Whereas the NFC was nothing. It was so top heavy, and now the all-time guy is back. Again, possibly, maybe even probably with Deshaun Watson here to go. I think this changed everything in January. I'm so glad it happened. All things are now equal. It was off. It was like the NBA West in the 90s. It was rough. And now it's not.
Dominic, number one thought you have this morning?
I was just excited, and I do think that they immediately become a contender.
And I think it's important to remind everybody, this team lost on the last play of the game to the team in the Los Angeles Rams that eventually won the Super Bowl, given their age and all of their injuries. So I just want to know, how loaded is this team going to be to try to make a repeat run of what they were 2 years ago?
And you just saw on your screen the impact this has already had on the odds. They are now the favorites to win the NFC.
Well, I do think they'll be willing to torpedo their cap down the road. If they can get another Super Bowl next year, I'm sure they'd be willing to do that. We've already seen them move some money around. I think they're going to come to a deal with Chris Godwin. That'll give them more cap space. They've already restructured Vita Vea's contract. You know, I think, and Nick, you mentioned the receiving core. You know, Godwin should be back around sometime in September, we think. I still like Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson. Gronk is working out there in Tampa Bay already, you know, at the facility. So I think he'll be back for sure. I think Cameron Brate will be back too. So
what about Cyril Grayson?
The offense we know
he was
great.
Your guy for 8 days. Remember him? Remember how excited you were about Cyril Grayson, track star?
Brady made some magic with him. Brady made some magic with Cyril Grayson. So, look, Brady has been phenomenal under Bruce Arians. We know that. And so I give them a strong chance. I hear you, Wiles, but I like Tampa Bay with Brady.
So he just talked about roster construction. Mike T, that's your area of expertise. How about that? How about putting the pieces back together? Because the contract is already in place.
Yeah, he's on a 2-year, $50 million deal. And in talking to them or texting with them last night, they were happy last night, but they sort of expected it. And I think this plan is in place. And when we go through this list of players, this is reasonable to get done. And to Dan's point, there is a lot of work to be done. But when your quarterback is making $25 million a year, Greeny, that's a very realistic list to get accomplished.
Meaning, let's make sure the audience understands what you're saying. By starting quarterback standards, forget about superstar quarterback. By starting quarterback standards, that's a bargain, which means they can afford to put a lot of those other names on their roster.
Yeah, context is everything. Kirk Cousins signs an extension last night at $35 million a year. Tom Brady is making $10 million less than Kirk Cousins. And oh, by the way, the quarterback that's up in Green Bay, some guy named Aaron Rodgers, it's been widely reported that he's about to sign a contract over $50 million a year. I think for him, the optics are awful. That deal should have been done last week. And now when Tom Brady is sitting there at $25 million a year, they're at a competitive advantage over the Green Bay Packers. Packers still have a chance to be good, but a lot of his teammates will be graduating while Tampa Bay will be able to keep more of their players.
Oh, by the way, NFL free agency doesn't officially begin until Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. The legal tampering hasn't even begun yet. So, Graziano, when we say the legal tampering, the illegal tampering has been going on for years.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day.